It's time to watch your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corp, member SIPC. Vicki, it's so good to see you once again. What's going on?
Well, George, I'm happy to be here because I'm about to make history.
Let's go.
You know what? This is the first time I've ever done a shout out.
Really?
I have a shout out to the fourth grade class at Syracuse Academy of Science, the charter school. Recently, I had the pleasure of visiting the school and reading and discussing a book that was titled, What is an Idea? And in bottom line, this is what we learned about ideas. It takes ideas to change the world. So, George, you know what? You and I had an idea.
Yes.
Our idea was that we would start a campaign around the financial concept of zero, no more. We were going to get everybody to pledge, our listeners and all the citizens of Syracuse and our families, that zero, no more would be the goal of this generation to make sure that the next generation would not start their financial assets at zero, that we would increase our net worth each year and retain and transfer that wealth to the next generation. So to start that campaign, we're running a contest, if you remember.
I remember.
Okay, we wanted a logo and a T-shirt design for the campaign, and I asked that everybody who wanted to, all the designers who felt that they had a great concept around zero, no more, to submit their designs to info@brackensfsn.com. Now, the winning designer will have their design published. What that means is we will use it. It will be everywhere.
That's right.
And they'll get credit for the design. And they'll also get some money for the design. The first prize was $150, second prize $100, and the third prize $75. So I thought today, since we were talking about the concept of zero, no more, and also the issue of ideas, that I'd share with everyone where this idea came from.
Okay.
Okay, so you know what's one of my favorite sayings? Everything is connected, right?
Yep.
Okay? And how one life ends is connected to how the next life begins. And so, you know, we had, you got your accent together?
Yeah.
Because remember last week? You read something for me?
Yes.
Can you read it again? Okay.
Yeah. This is a father that has not prepared his children for his own death has failed them.
That's right. I love it every time you do that. A father that has not prepared his children for his own death has failed them. So this, if you recall, came from T'Chaka, from the movie Black Panther. So the idea of zero, no more really reminds me, and I started working on this a couple of years back, of a relay race. Did you ever run, George? Were you ever an athlete?
I ran a marathon. Does that count?
Okay, that's sort of counts.
Okay.
At least you've been out there, okay, sweating and moving forward.
I'm in the gym.
Okay, all right then. But if you remember, when you run and you run with teammates,
right?
Most of the time when you're running in competition, there are lanes designed for that competition.
Right.
Each type of race, in fact, has different lanes and different advantages. But what intrigues me are the relay races, the races that require that you rely on other people.
Yes.
You think about those. Those races have special characteristics. You have qualifying rounds. You have positioning.
Yes.
You have coordination.
Yep.
Each stage must rely on the successful completion of the prior stage to advance. So let me tell you the way I look at it as far as looking at the race and how it relates to zero, no more. When you start the race, okay, everybody imagine this.
I'm imagining.
When you start the race has that circular track, and in the relay race, each qualifying round, the team gets to move in toward the middle of the track into a more advantageous lane. As they are running each qualifying round, your objective is to get away from lane 8 and get all the way, hopefully, to lane 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
So what does that tell you? It tells you that when you are running a race and you are relying on others in the qualifying rounds, how you pass that baton to the next person
right.
determines what's going to happen with the team over and over and over again.
Some folks be dropping that baton.
If you drop that baton, okay,
and then they'll pick it up at all.
Exactly. Okay, if you drop that baton, then the team is now forced back into a less advantageous lane, in some cases all the way back to lane 8.
That's right.
So that when it's time to really run the race and advance, you are in the least advantageous lane possible. In fact, I looked at some statistics and found out that in relay races, it's almost impossible to win the race from lane 8. In fact, the numbers of people in the Olympics that have actually run the race from lane 8, and meaning teams and won, I think has only been 1 or 2 in the whole history.
Right, because they have so much ground to make up.
Have so much ground to make up. There it is. So the reason for zero no more is I tell everybody, think of the concept of a race where you are passing the baton each time. And if you're not doing it efficiently and effectively, each qualifying round, even though you're running as hard as you possibly can, putting in as much effort as you possibly can, because you are in the outside lane, in the least advantageous lane, each time you come around the track, you will never, or it will be almost impossible for you to make the advances that you wanted to make generation from generation to next. So here's why we want to talk about zero no more. We want our community and to look at this quote and say, not a father who has not prepared his children, but to say a community that has not prepared its children for their demise or for their passing has failed them. We will have zero no more.
Let's say that again. So a community that has not prepared its children for his or her own death has failed them. That's powerful.
Thank you, George.
That's very powerful.
Okay. So at this point in time, I think it's a perfect time for me to say our plate is full. Wow.
For more information, let's remind people that they can get the Zero No More T-shirt design contest. First prize $150, second prize $100, third prize $75. Email your design to brackensfsn.com, info@brackensfsn.com. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corp. Member SIPC.